I think to be a woman, sometime around adolescence, we undergo a sort of a splintering where our physical body is sort of open game for society. And so who we are as a person sort of becomes fragmented from images we're getting from society. And I think that for women, maybe they spend the rest of their lives trying to put that back together. And we do it in different ways. We assume different roles. We may even change over time as to how we try to put ourselves back together and make ourselves whole again.
As individuals, we search to discover who we truly are. We are allowed to choose how to define ourselves, looking sometimes at the exterior, something very real, yet still an illusion. We look to easier, more tangible ways to break down the complexities of humans into something more simple, something we can grasp. These exterior definitions are fostered throughout our upbringing and constructed through personal experience. Societal and cultural taboo encourage stagnation and try to hold one back from seeking definition beyond gender, race, religion, nationality, or any other number of labels one comes to hold. However, we can use these labels to start discussion and in turn tap into our shared humanity. And with a willingness to examine our humanity, we can all strive to become more cognizant folk.
The first thing I think about is the word strong, because I mean they give birth. We don't choose to have this. We don't choose, we're just given the pleasure, I guess you could say. So they're definitely strong. I've never had a baby, but I was there when my mom had my little sister, and that does not look like fun. So strong is definitely a word that comes to mind.
I think mostly how I define myself as a man has to do with how I conduct myself as a father.
And partly because I still see my mother in that role of the stay-at-home mom and taking care of her family, and that was her sole focus in life. And so I grew up seeing that, and almost with the expectation that I would do that. I was kind of a little bit outside of those bounds and didn't always prescribe to the set standards. So when I decided to go to college, and I was the first one in my family to ever do that, that it was supported. It was supported. So, but that idea of that very focused in-home, take care of the children, make sure that the husband is taken care of, have supper on the table for him. Well, I have come a long ways from that because I don't fix supper. And I think part of that is, so I started out kind of in that vein and had the children, and but it's come so far from that. To me, that has let me be more free to do things that, as a person, I wanted to do. Not that I don't love my children, because I do. And I love my grandchildren dearly. And it's exciting to go see them. But that doesn't mean that's who defines me. And I am a completely a separate person from those other entities. Whereas before, my mother was defined by her children and her family.
Women can do everything nowadays. Trust me.
Why has every woman got to be a mama? It's on that pedestal.
Honestly,
you should be like, Mom, bake me cookies. No. Okay, sorry about that.
And why is it not okay if you choose not to be a mom? I think that's something that people need to discuss as well.
Yeah. Because it's hard.
Being a woman and being able to be a wife is just one of the neatest things that's happened to me in my entire life. To be able to share my life with somebody, not being able to do that, I would never want to go back. So being a woman has been, that's all the joys along the way. It's an added benefit to be able to do that, to be able to be a mom
and the responsibility to just take care of someone. Like that's just kind of like, I feel like that's a natural instinct in a lot of guys. Like a lot of guys in marriages feel like, oh, you have to take care of your wife, you have to provide for your family. I feel like I kind of, especially have that characteristic, and I feel a lot of guys do too.
I think acting like a woman is just like taking care of your kids and being like a role model to like younger girls in like the most positive way you can. Like when I think of the word like woman, I think of like my mom and my grandma and like my aunts, and I just think of like them taking care of me all my life, and that's what I want to be.
It's impossible to define because you have this opportunity to bring life into the world and to teach another person, another being to be however you think that they should be. And we learn a lot more from our mothers and females, like our core beliefs come from them. And I think that that's an incredible power, and a lot of women don't realize the power that they have. But I think to be a woman means to be strong.
I've had to define how to be a woman because my mom didn't teach me to be a strong woman or a brave person or a brave woman or a brave human. I had to look at other role models for that. Not that I blame her, but I had to look at other role models. And my cousins were my role models.
To play a role in the universe, I think, is incredible, and to play the role that we do is even more incredible. To bring life into the world is a gift, and you can use it, and you can to have control over that realm of human nature is, I don't take that for granted in any way. I feel that it's valuable.
If anything, we should be helping women with their decisions and understanding that this does target a specific gender. This is the one thing that I can distinguish these genders by. You create life and you don't. And how do I support them versus take things away?
I think what it means to be a man is really a cultural question. And so when I think about what it means to be a man, I'm forced into these preconceived notions that our culture describes. And so if you're a man in American culture, you don't walk down the street holding another man's hand. And if you're a man in American culture, you hang out at the bar with your buddies. And if you're a man, you cut the lawn. And if you're a man, you take care of the car. Now, that's not, of course, true in all families, but I think the only way to get at what it means to be a man is to look at it under the lens of culture.
No, you don't have to be tough or anything like that to be a man or, play sports or anything, but basically you just live in a lifestyle that you are happy with. So.
To be a woman? Well, actually, I was thinking about that yesterday because my dad, he was like watching the Hillary Clinton town hall meeting. It's like, that's why we can never have a woman president. It's because whenever they give a speech, it's like they're yelling at us, being bossy. And I was like, wow, that's really strange.
Careful as in, as a woman, there are a lot of things that are against us, like discrimination in the workplace, lower wages. Even in some countries, women can't have jobs or have harder time getting an education. But Courageous says in trying to break those boundaries.
Noticing more and more that's kind of frightening to me in society is it seems like we're stereotyping more and more. Whether it's about gender, whether it's about race, whether it's about age, whatever it is, it seems like this is the box because of our minds being so having to kind of identify and make something black or white. I don't know exactly where to start, but I really believe that people have got to try to be more aware of what they're saying and interacting, and do realize that there is still a serious problem when it comes to the way men and women interact.
I'm from Saudi Arabia. Well, some Saudis from my country think that women has more freedom here. For me, I think you can be normal women in Saudi. It's just that the driving thing, because women are not allowed to drive in my country. So that just makes them mad that they can't drive. It's a cultural thing.
Acting like a man is, you see a door, you open it for somebody. When you see a lady, you do your best to impress her or have as much respect towards her as possible. You open doors, you open up a car, you go out of your way to make them feel special. You are downright a gentleman, doing everything that you possibly can to make somebody feel respected. And respecting yourself in that sense as well.
Well, stereotypically, I think acting like a man is just being like having like zero feelings. You don't cry, you don't complain, or you never, just no feelings. You're just a guy's guy, which I've never been a guy's guy. But for me to be a man, I think just it means to suck it up sometimes, and you gotta make the hard decisions and just not be a complainer. Just take care of business. It's gonna suck. It's not always gonna be fun. It's not gonna be sparkly and amazing, whatever. But you have people who count on you. You have responsibilities, and you have to take care of them.
I can start. I struggled immensely to conceive and had some fetal deaths. So for me, I only identified as a woman by being able to be a mother, and it's all I ever wanted. And then when we struggled and are still struggling to do so, it takes away a piece of you, and a piece of you didn't even know you wanted or existed or was a part of you until it happens.
The essence of the question is that what does it mean to be human? And so we can look at the question of what it means to be a man or be a woman, but really the important question is, what does it mean to be human? And that should transcend cultural norms. And we should be able to say that what it means to be a human is true in America, is true in Saudi Arabia, is true in Somalia. We should have these common elements of our humanity and what we should be. Again, it's shaped by mores, it's shaped by cultural norms, but I think at the essence, it reminds me of the philosophers and when they started to look at what it meant to have natural rights. And so what they had to do was they had to think about what are these things that are common for all humanity? And they were putting it in the context of rights, and so they were saying things like all humans should have happiness, all humans should have liberty, all humans should have property. And I think when we get to that question of humanity, it's a similar thing. We have to find what is the thing that links all people. And we, if we are to evolve and be a better society, should go beyond what our society defines us as. My role as a husband, my role as a father, I think is different than others. It's probably similar to others as well. But at the end of the day, I should be able to be who I am, that part of who I am is Jay, not the part of am I fitting the stereotypes that my society has created for me.
Women are just people. What it means to be a woman is to be human, we're all the same really, and we just have our unique characteristics. Saying that I'm a woman, that means I'm Chinese. They're both one and the same, It's just unique characteristics that make you who you are.
I think to be a man is I think being a man can be whatever you really want it to be. I think the difference between a man and a woman is that I don't think there really should be a difference, but there is a difference. Because when you're a man, I think the core of being a man is just to be honest with yourself. And whatever, being a man is a journey, I guess. You're not necessarily born a man, or may not look like the most manliest man, but to be a man, it's just to be real, and to be honest. And so I think technically a woman can be a man, you know what I mean. But just to be strong, I guess, in the best way you can. So
those morals and values that you have, and characteristics of yourself, that helps you stand out. And as you go on to make life choices, I think you become a better person overall, men and women.
Yeah, you picked two interesting women to ask this question because
we're breaking the mold.
I feel really comfortable not identifying as a male or a female in my profession, and I also feel comfortable with my friends doing that.
I don't know if I've ever thought, quite honestly, what it means to be a man. I know I have many titles. I have titles such as a husband, and a father, and a principal, and a man, and a white male, and a lot of titles. But I don't view myself as any of those titles. What I view myself as a human being.
My husband wears his heart on his sleeve, but knows when to tuck it in. My brother, heart on the sleeve, tucks it in. It's being human.
I think what's important is being a human and being kind and considerate and treating people with respect. Sort of the golden rule. Getting beyond, the sex thing and the gender thing. And I think you're gaining from my conversation here that I'm really frustrated by the culture. And I keep referring to it because culture is everywhere, the learned patterns of behavior and the norms and how we go through things, and we socially construct meaning to things, and then it's hard to tear it down when we figure out that, whoa, we're way off base. Really be more cognizant of that these things are learned, and it needs to start in the home at a really early age. We don't have to worry about, what toys the boys are playing with versus what toys the girls are playing with. I know it's an area sometimes that as a father might look at it and say, why are we, allowing the young person to play with, dolls or dress up? I mean, you've grown up, we've all, as we grow up, we do these things, and it's natural and it's fun, and there shouldn't be these boundaries. But there's somebody telling you there are, and that's that social construction that happens in our culture and just keeps getting perpetuated on and on.
If you go, we can stay outside. You can find a new place to hide on the beaches of Italy. There is something you wanna see. I know you're comfortable where